All right, I think we're recording.
All right. Well, welcome back to the first iteration again of Third String Commentators with Alex and Shane. I'm Shane. He's Alex, and yeah, hopefully we'll be doing this a lot more regularly again. We had some, AKA, I didn't have a laptop that worked, so
Too much
that made it
porn.
kind of difficult. Huh? Too much porn.
Much porn.
A little bit, but we're going to be talking about kind of everything. I mean, you've got an opinion of a 24-year-old and a 26-year-old, kind of from the same area in Pennsylvania, but then kind of went our own ways in college, and then now out of college. I'm in the South, and he's not. So we'll kind of talk about anything and everything. If you guys have any requests, please give us a call. That's a joke. We don't have any phone lines or fans yet even, so it's kind of for us.
And by you guys, he means his mom and dad.
Yeah, fuck that. They're not going to watch. All right, so first topic.
One thing, just to our two listeners out there, might be a little rough, but I'm being lazy and deciding not to edit the episode, so everything that you watch is completely raw and unedited. So bear with us. Sorry, I'm lazy.
It's like we're having sex for the first time. It's not going to be pretty, but just the more you do it, the better it feels.
There you go.
And it might bleed a little bit, but just bear with us.
Can't think of a way to start the show.
That's why they make Neosporin. All right. So my co-host Alex brought this up to me today. He wants to know what the top 5 cereals are. So in the spirit of me not knowing my answer, Alex, go ahead.
Put me on the spot right away. This is an answer you have to have ready to pull out of your pocket at any time. Cereals are kind of like movies. It's hard to put them in order, but I can give you a 5 that are definitely at the top of my list. Definitely going Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Mm-hmm. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is maybe the most versatile cereal also because it's just as good without milk as it is with milk. And then I go Frosted Flakes, pretty classic. Fruit Loops, also pretty classic. Waffle Crisp, just kind of an answer out of left field, but people sleep on Waffle Crisp, and it's hard to find. And my 5th, I'm going to go... I'm going to go Lucky Charms. I think a lot of people would have Lucky Charms in their top 5.
All right.
And an honorable mention to those little, those Quaker squares.
Hold on. Wait. Let me do my 5 first. I tried to cut down the amount of overlaps, but then after that we'll do our we can give our honorable mentions.
Okay.
That just didn't quite make the list. All right. Now I think that's a solid list. That's a really, really solid list by you. So I'm only going to do one crossover because it's the number 1 cereal, I think, and that's Frosted Flakes. Okay. There's nothing better than that. They are awesome. Next one. This one has been discontinued, so we're going to maybe shock the world a little bit on this one. French Toast Crunch. Cinnamon Toast Crunch gets all the ladies. But then you got like your French Toast Crunch, which comes in kind of as like your cousin who comes in for the weekend. And like just picks up the one girl that just is unattainable by anyone else, and boom, wow. They fuck, and just have a kid. Next one, again, not the most sexy pick, but it's like a blue collar pick. Going Frosted Shredded Mini Wheats. They're good. They're fun. They look fun to eat, and a lot of the time when you have the cereal and you maybe put in too much milk, you kind of just waste that. But with this, it kind of soaks it up and like a flavor bomb. Next one, Cookie Crisp. What kid did not want Cookie Crisp. No one. You're eating fucking cookies. Cookies. And you're being told that it's part of a balanced nutritional breakfast. Dude, sign me up every single time. And number 5, well, the 5th one. And this wasn't really in any order, but this one, just because I'm a winner. You gotta go Wheaties. Nothing says winning like eating a box of Wheaties.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow,
right.
that list had a pretty severe drop off at the last 2. My god.
Don't you remember the commercial with the coyote though? Cookie Crisp.
I do remember that. But they're not. If I'm gonna eat chocolate chip cookies, they're gonna be good, soft, warm chocolate chip cookies, not shitty little discs of chocolate chip cookies that don't even taste that good, and they've been sitting in a box for 2 months.
Okay, well, the day that Otis fucking Spunkmeyer comes up with a cookie cereal for you, I'm sure you'll be first in line. But for now, as 12-year-old Shane, as a fat kid, was like, let's do these cookies.
And Wheaties is a total old man answer. That's a 50-year-old man that still reads the newspaper every morning answer. So I'm a little disappointed in you with that.
It's 26. I gotta poop some days.
You gonna say Smart Start next?
Grape nuts. All right, what are your honorable mentions?
Those Quaker Oat squares, like I said, they come in a blue box. I don't even know what they're called, but they're like little kind of, I don't know, they're like wheat squares. And I can't believe I forgot this one. Trix is a classic.
That's yep. Tricks are for kids.
And then I'll throw Reese's Puffs in there as well.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, you're rethinking your Wheaties and Cookie Crisp now, aren't you?
Reese's Puffs. That's a solid answer. The only one. Oh, and I forgot 2 more. These would definitely be on my list. One, which I think is probably the closest to Frosted Flakes as the king of cereal. It's also the king of shredding your mouth. Is Captain Crunch.
Okay.
Captain Crunch was the best. So if any of you ever played sports and went to like a college for like a tournament or something, if you ever went into like the cafeteria for breakfast, when you got there, they'd always have those giant sleeves of cereal that you kind of like twisted the knob and it would come out, and you go over to the big thing with the milk. Every single time, it was always like Frosted Flakes, Captain Crunch, then other shitty stuff I never tried.
Probably.
Yeah. Other one, Count Chocula. Yeah.
Never heard of Count Chocula.
All right. Well,
I think you just made up a cereal.
I did. I just wanted to get I wanted the military to be represented.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right.
Okay. We can only talk about cereal for so long. Let's go to the next one.
Getting me hungry. All right. Next one. Along the same lines, kind of as a list. I mean, we'll try to limit how many listicle things we do. We'll leave that to BuzzFeed and their non-journalism type stuff. But I had this come to me on Sunday because I was hungover and didn't really do a whole lot. But basically, what are like 3 things or your top 3 things to do when hungover? And because this is my topic that I thought of, I'll give Alex a couple minutes to think. And here are mine. Number 1, without a doubt, ain't nothing better than the good old jerk off. You can crack stick 3, 7, 11 times when hungover. I swear to God, it is the best because you don't have to do anything. You don't have to move. It's just you and Handy Moore, just kind of. Next thing. I don't know if you guys have this because it's kind of city specific, but like ordering food off of Seamless or Postmates or Grubhub. I don't have to move. I can be in bed and be like, all right, what can I order from TGI Fridays that just gives me everything? And like, as everyone knows, money does not count on Seamless or Venmo or anything like that. So $60 in an order, that's nothing. That money's not real anyway. So just give me everything. Give me 7 orders of mozzarella sticks and like a burger. And probably the next one, my last one, is going to be binge watching a show that I've already seen. And on Sunday it was Archer, one of my favorite shows of all time. And usually it stays with like an animated show. So it's usually either like Archer, Bob's Burgers. If I can get The Simpsons, I'll do that. Something nonsensical, and I can be on my iPad while I'm watching the TV. So, yeah. How about you?
Well, first of all, obviously I was not surprised when you sent over the list about an hour ago and you had 2 or 3 topics that had to do with drinking or being hungover. That was just completely predictable.
Yeah, I wonder why.
My answers are pretty simple. Number 1, I'm going to go with getting McDonald's pancakes. That's definitely one of my guilty pleasures. But I'll kind of group something else in the same category with that and say a bacon, egg, and cheese. Bacon, egg always gets me right in the morning. Number 2, watching golf, believe it or not. It is just very relaxing. You don't have to really put any energy into watching it. It's on for fucking 6 hours at a time, so you can sit back and watch.
Watching golf is like the sport equivalent of a hangover.
Absolutely. I agree.
You don't do anything, and you're like, this is everything.
Yep. You're hungover, not doing anything, being lazy all day, and you get to watch these guys play the hardest game in the world. And also kind of along the lines of watching something, playing Mario Kart on N64. There is not a problem in the world that cannot be fixed by playing Mario Kart with your friends on N64. Let me tell you that.
Now, that's good, though, because that kind of doubles up as a good hungover and also a good drinking game.
Absolutely. And then my final one, pretty simple, smoke weed. Never had a hangover that weed did not get rid of.
Smoke weed every day.
So, yeah.
All right. Any honorable mentions on this one for you?
No, I don't think so. I kind of gave 4.
Yeah. I was trying to think of something. And I thought about giving the answer of like reading to seem like I'm smart, but dude, no one's reading when you're hungover. No one likes doing anything when you're hungover.
No one's reading when you're sober.
That's true too. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next one, and this is the one that I'm the most curious about that Alex gave me, and it basically just said pussy games.
No, it said the pussy game. You got to get it right.
Sorry, the pussy game.
Okay. So I'll admit, full disclosure, this is kind of a spin-off of something I saw on Howard Stern, but shout out the king of all media.
Fuck
so
Howard.
they played a game called the racial slur game where they had to go back and forth and each say a racist name until they ran out. And whoever was the last person that couldn't think of one loses. So we're going to do that with pussy. So we'll go back.
Name like Dikembe or name like Beaner?
No, like a racial slur, like the N-word, and then someone else go like something else. So we're going to play the pussy game where we have to go back and forth using all the names for pussy. And whoever comes out first loses. So I'll start, and my first one will be pussy.
All right. I'm going to go with the vagine.
Okay. I'm going to go cunt.
My favorite that I don't think gets used enough, box.
That's a good one. Snatch.
Jesus. All the yours are so vicious sounding. I'm going to go with Lady V.
Vulva.
cervix. Medical term.
Flower.
Okay. Oh, here we go. The vagina.
Well, vagine is the same thing. That's a repeat. You can't do that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's a French pronunciation.
That's bullshit.
You're bullshit.
Okay, fine. Cum bucket.
I guess cum dumpster.
You fucker. That was my next one. Punani.
Puss hole.
Wow. Meat wallet.
Oh.
Pulled that one out of my ass.
Not the only thing you pulled out of your ass. We're going to go beef curtains. You know what beef curtains are?
Yeah, I've heard that. Kitty.
Here we go. The muff. Chasing the muff around. Hold on. Shout out That 70s Show. If you want to hear a good joke about the muff, watch the episode on That 70s Show. Are you doing some sort of timer? If you can't think of
I'm
one?
running out. I may forfeit. Damn. Give me like 15 more seconds.
All right. I got one more. That's from our friend Dane Cook.
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is glory hole, but I don't think that counts.
That does not count at all.
Okay, go ahead.
DJ Diddles.
DJ Diddles.
Oh, she's playing with herself.
Okay. You win, I guess.
All right, so I'm the king of pussy. Just kidding.
Wouldn't say that.
Just knowing enough gross names to outwit two idiots that are definitely not going to be employed if our boss has ever heard this conversation. Oh, God, that'd be so bad. Yeah, that, yikes. We have to edit that part out.
Hey, we didn't do the racial slur game.
That's true.
That would have been worse.
All right. The next one. I know Alex is going to say something about this because he said something about it last time. I was kind of thinking about what I do when I'm drunk. And, like, I can kind of count on myself every single time to do certain things.
Like jerk
so go
off?
out those, like, well, the next morning. Unless I coerce some victim, I mean some girl, to come back to my room and whatever. But yeah, so just kind of I want to pick your brain on what your drunk habits are. So I'll let you go first.
So the topic was technically what? Things you shouldn't do when you're drunk?
No, just things that you do when you're drunk.
Oh.
Like, so here, I always eat. Like, always.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can count on me for 2 slices of chicken bacon ranch and maybe a slice of buffalo chicken pizza on the way out of the bars at 3 a.m. all the time.
Or if we're at the shore, some Wawa. If one of them can drive.
On the house, because you don't have to pay when there's 500 people in a tiny Wawa and they can't fucking see.
One of the things I do all the time is I just pee so much. it's not because I have a small bladder. It's just because I drink a lot of beer and just go. If I drink liquor, I'm fine. Beer, it's like a fucking faucet.
Wow, what a creative answer. What do you do when you're drunk? You pee. That's like saying, what do you do when you eat? Poop.
Or drink coffee.
Oh, man. What do I do when I'm drunk? I don't know. You can probably count, if there's music playing that I like, you can definitely count on me dancing, or at least attempting to dance, which is quite a sight to behold.
I like to sing the 90s music.
Oh, God.
Mostly because it's the only music that I like to, or that I know, like the words of. Because when I listen to music, for some reason, I don't really learn the lyrics. I kind of just listen to the music. Except for 90s stuff like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and all the typical summer hits of the 90s, by the way, on Pandora is the best station
absolutely.
of all time. But if that ever gets played, chances are I'm like scream singing. Not like screaming like, but like just yelling at the top of my lungs, whatever the words are. So yeah, I have a bad habit of doing that.
You can definitely count on me buying drinks for girls that end up never talking to me and never coming home with me. Money always seems to flow out of my wallet much quicker when I'm drunk. Funny how that works.
I like to lie when I'm drunk. So like I'll kind of come up with a weird thing about myself, or if I'm with friends, I'll be like, hey, do you know this person? They're like the wide receiver coach at DeSales University. And like, really? Like, oh, of course. Like, doesn't look like it. I'm like, well, looks can be deceiving. Look at me. And they're like, not a good example.
You lie all the time, not just when you're drunk.
Yes, ladies, it is normal size.
Like telling your mom that I died in a plane crash.
Car accident, thank you.
Sorry.
So, listeners, when we like you a little bit more, we'll tell you about that story. And basically, my mom hated me for a couple days. Nothing new there, but still. She likes Alex more than me. We'll put it that way.
When we actually have listeners is a better way to phrase it. There's nobody to tell the story to.
Just ourselves. By the way, with this podcast should be called like Narcissism Squared, because right now we're basically just talking for both of us.
All right, what do we got next?
All right, next one. This is your 3 favorite athletes of all time, regardless of sport.
Oh, yeah. Favorite athletes to watch. That's a key part.
Oh, to watch, yes.
So I'll go first since this was my topic and Shane's a little slow. Easy for me. Number 1, I'm going to go.
I know who this is.
LeBron James.
Didn't think of that one.
I don't know, this isn't in order either, but one of them is LeBron, just because I watch sports for athleticism, and you're maybe never going to see a better athlete in the NBA or in all of sports than LeBron. Every time you watch LeBron, you're going to see something amazing that only he can do and no one else in the world can do. Number 2, Roger Federer. Shout out to Wimbledon. I know Shane's a hater because he's a Nadal apologist.
He's boring. The dude is boring.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
Stab someone, then I'll like you. Yes. He is so boring.
Oh, God. Tennis is just an art the way he plays it. He plays tennis with such ease. It looks like he's gliding around and putting no effort into his tennis at all.
Look, I love watching him. He's a great player and all that jazz. Like, you're not taking anything away from him, but just like in terms of people that I want to watch and like be fans of, get him the fuck out of my face. No, thank you. Give me anyone else.
No.
Give me a film.
He makes it look so easy, especially at the age of almost 36. I'm sticking with that answer. You're not going to talk me off that. My last answer, Michael Vick.
Quick, slick, fucking Michael Vick.
The first.
That's who I thought your number 1 was going to be.
the first true dual threat running quarterback. Again, someone that you've never seen a player like him before he came along. Just incredible to watch run all over the field. He was like a 99 speed in Madden the following year after he had that huge year. Impossible to catch. And they even made a fucking commercial. Remember they made a commercial, the Michael Vick experience for him? Like he had his own shoe line, and there was a commercial where a guy like got onto a roller coaster and
they get the little chest harness
as Michael Vick. Like they made a commercial like that about Michael Vick for a reason. He was incredible. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. I won't use any of those three, although LeBron would be high on my list as well. Me and Alex both are noted LeBron fans, so that'll stay like that forever until he goes to the Lakers, and then I'll fucking hate him just because I don't like the Lakers. So that'll suck. My number one, kind of just growing up where we did. Allen Iverson. The dude was electric. Like, there was not – this is in a time before super teams were a thing. I mean, the closest thing you had to a super team was LeBron and Shaq – or Kobe and Shaq. But there wasn't that third person. You had, like, Robert Ory, I think, was on that team, or Rick Fox, Derek Fisher. No. Yeah, so whenever you could see Allen Iverson just doing that shake and bake, and then also just him in those Reebok shoes that could like zip up, the dude was smooth and just so cocky. It was awesome watching him and then just shitting on people. Number two, easy. David Ortiz. I don't think, well, I mean, this is definitely age bias, but like, I don't know if I'd ever want to grow up in a different era of sports, really, because you had the Sox breaking the streak last year at the Cubs, and you had certain magic on both teams, but like just in 2004, seeing Big Papi just go off. I mean, he single-handedly, like, obviously not single-handedly, but like the dude just fucking owned it. He just, you could watch him with a scalpel cut open the Yankees' hearts, rip out his heart. And this is coming from a guy that his favorite player on the Sox at that time was Manny Ramirez. So like I wanted him to get all the accolades and like get all the buzz and whatnot. But how can you not love Papi? Plus, he's a fun guy. He's just like a big, dumb, fat, Dominican, awesome kid. You just love to play the game.
Manny is definitely at near the top of my list. I love Manny.
Yeah, he is fun. I'm trying to think of another person. I keep getting these goddamn fucking things. Hop on my computer. All right, here's one. I'm going to go with this one. I don't know if it's going to be the most correct, but for me, it's the one that I wanted to always watch. But David Beckham. Dude was magic. Hair was perfect. Slaying, puss, vagine, snatch, box, clit, cum receptacle, whatever you want to say. Every day, every night until he met that Spice Girl. But just, dude was smooth. He could pass, he could shoot. And growing up, I really enjoyed soccer, and Manchester United was obviously like the one English team that everyone knew from America. So you're going to watch them and be like, oh, this David Beckham guy, he's the best. And he turns out, yeah, he's actually the best player of almost all time. Well, no, he's the best player then. If I had to tailor my answer for like time reasons, you're going to go Ronaldo and Messi right now. Those two cats are just magic right now, but I'm gonna stick with Beckham. So,
okay,
yeah,
solid choices. Can't argue.
No, I was pretty happy. All right, we're gonna go to the next one real quick, and This is something I was thinking about. I don't know why, but it was just something that kind of popped up into my head. And I wanted to talk about it. So today, the Panthers fired their GM. I forget what his name is, but
Gettleman, I think.
Yeah, Gettleman, like Mark Gettleman, I think. And apparently he was on the hook for handling Josh Norman, and the reason why Norman left, and then D'Angelo Williams like fucking hates the kid. So when he came out a couple days ago and said that there's a list of 4 teams that he'll never play or he would not sign for, one being the Cowboys, or another one being the Panthers, and 2 others, I forget who. It was surprising, and then today it came out that he tweeted like, now that Snake Gettleman's out, I'm removing Carolina off the list of teams I won't sign for. So he's back on. He's I guess a free agent saying, "Oh yes, now you guys can sign me," which I don't really understand. But there's also been a lot of other players where they wrote on Twitter and other social media platforms were like, "Yeah, fuck this guy, and we're really happy about this." The only other one that I can really think of that is specific is the amount of hatred that Pat McAfee has for his former GM, that douchebag that's now in Cleveland, and he's very outspoken about it. And just want to get your reaction. What do you think of athletes kind of bashing their former bosses, whatever they are? And it could be a GM, could be a coach, could be a owner being fired or selling the team. What do you think?
I don't know, because it's hard to say when you don't necessarily know what goes on behind closed doors. Like, I don't think a GM would be like trashing a player, but you never know what goes on in those negotiations. I don't really have any particular problem with it. I mean, the players, everyone knows in 2017 the players run the league. The players are the reason the leagues exist. It's no different than you or I getting a raw deal at our job and then talking bad about them after we're out the door. I mean, would it be something that I do? Probably not. But is it something that happens all the time? Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I actually love it. I love that it happens just because I don't like the whole like cookie cutter, yes sir, yes ma'am, no sir, no ma'am, when asked questions about, hey, this person said that you weren't good enough. What do you think? Well, they said it, so sure. Like, no, fuck that. Like, dude, I was a Pro Bowler last year. Of course I'm good enough. I like it when they speak their mind. I like it when they are able to be outspoken and whatnot. And in sports, I agree with what you said about kind of like what you and I would do, but in sports, in especially because there is no LinkedIn profile for sports. Kind of what you've done in the past on field is on tape and whatnot, and that is your resume, your CV, or whatever. So you really can't burn a bridge by doing that. I mean, you can get a reputation of like, if we sign this player and we don't do something that he likes, he's just going to shit on us, which obviously probably isn't the best, but it's also not the worst. I mean, you've got half the population that's going to be cautious with him just because that's who they are. And then you have the other half where they're more they want characters. They're happy to kind of house anyone that speaks their mind and willing to kind of stand for what they stand for. So I like it. I just wanted to see what you thought. Yeah.
I will say this too. I think a lot of times like obviously all professional athletes know that it's a business when they get into it, but I don't think players necessarily understand the context of why decisions are made in the larger scale of the organization. So, like, when a player gets cut, that may just be like the GM saying, look, we got to save money somewhere. Like, we got a budget here, or that money might be better spent somewhere else. Whereas the athlete is going to see that as like, fuck you, you don't think I'm good enough to play on this team. A lot of athletes would take that as a personal attack. But from a GM standpoint, you're responsible to no one but the owner of the team, and the owner only cares about winning.
Yeah, well, that's a perfect segue into another question I have. And it's kind of like a theory that I've had for a while, and it's mostly to do with basketball. Because in baseball and soccer, you don't have salary caps. In football, that salary cap is so fucked that who the hell knows where that's going to go. But then in basketball, you've got these players taking max deals. You've got people talking about how this bench warmer is making $90 million over 5 years, and he's a bench player. But then you look at, say, Golden State. Golden State had, 4 all-pro people on their team, and then like 5 people that made some sort of postseason, or not postseason, but like award for their play. So you had Steph on a $11 million deal. You have Clay on, I don't know, probably 15 or so. You got Draymond on probably around that same, like maybe 9 or 10. And then you had Durant making 25 or 30 or whatever. But the only way you can have 4 all-pro players on your team making basically what they're worth is either sign them to small deals when they're young, have them kind of grow, and then you're good that way. You good?
Yep, I'm listening.
Okay. Yeah, so sign them young to small deals, kind of like what Steph did. Steph, didn't show much, and then he signed a 4-year, $44 million deal or whatever. So they got him at a dime. So going to the Cavs, you have 3 bona fide superstars, 2.5 superstars on their team.
Mm-hmm.
And why is LeBron making $33 million this year and last year? LeBron James is probably the most marketable athlete ever. He's already signed a lifetime deal with Nike worth $1 billion. So money's not an issue. He can get picked up by sponsors from Subway, fucking Foot Locker, anywhere. Payless can sign him to a deal. If your ultimate goal is to win a championship, and you're a player like that, you're a player like LeBron, like Kyrie. Kyrie can also pick up different sponsorships. He's got that one with Pepsi Max and Uncle Drew, which is awesome. Those are some of my favorite commercials ever. Why not take $10 million? Your salary from your team, $10 million. Because in the grand scheme of things, you can make that up in sponsorships real fucking quick.
No, that's it.
And allow your team to have $23 million extra to operate under the salary cap, so that you're not getting Kyle Korver as like your top role player. Ray Allen beats the shit out of Kyle Korver as a role player. Like, there's probably shouts for Ray Allen to be in the Hall of Fame when he's ready. Korver, probably not. And they could do that because the Heat probably had that much room to sign him, and they did. Whereas now the Cavs are handcuffed by his $33 million contract. You got Kyrie making, 25, and Love making 24, 22, I think it is. So I guess my question to you is, am I crazy for thinking that if a player's ultimate motive is to win a championship, wouldn't they want to do whatever they can for the championship or for their team? And if you take less money, but you can make it up in other ways, why not do that?
Absolutely. You make a good point, but at the same time, it's hard to criticize a player for not wanting to capitalize while they can, while they're at a point in their lives where they're able to make as much money as they do on their bodies.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I just want to clarify. I was not criticizing more so. I'm just kind of curious as to why that no one does. I mean, the world is a capitalist driven place. If you can make that money, go ahead and make it. But in your interviews and you as a person, if you keep saying all I want to do is win, you know what you have to do to win. Get better players. If you can make that money up somewhere else, do that and you'll win.
I agree. I mean, some guys in the NBA definitely do it. Like Curry, you said do it. Durant took a little less. I mean, people are like, Durant took less money, but he took what, like 28 or something? Like, okay. And I think, look, for LeBron specifically, I think one thing is he already took a pay cut when he was in Miami to play with Wade and Bosh.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, I totally just forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I'll let you think about it because, and let me say this. It seems like this does happen. It just happened this year with Dirk. Dirk went from a player option of like 20, like mid-20s, I'd say, or maybe around that. He declined his player option, not even a team option, player option of that, and re-signed with the Mavs at 2 years, $10 million. He's making $5 fucking million.
That's disrespectful as fuck.
To Dirk, yes. He's one of the vets that you should be like, just give him all of the money. He has won us a championship. People forget that the Mavs actually did win. And who'd they play at that time? They played the fucking Heat. I'm fairly sure they did.
Yes, they did.
So I don't know why it happens later on. I mean, no, everyone knows why. I mean, he's old. Dirk's old, not a starter, not a star. And it's probably the same. I think Duncan did it too with the Spurs his last years. He went down severely. But just with these stars now, the way that people are and the way that their marketability, which is another thing that people should be thinking about. It to me, it seems kind of crazy. But
I think this is what I was going to say. For LeBron specifically, I don't know how much he cares about winning another championship, to be honest with you. This whole year, he kind of had a tone in the media where he was in a good place, and like throughout the finals, he just kind of accepted the fact that they weren't the better team. Yeah, they lost, but it wasn't like the end of the world. It didn't seem to really affect him that much. I'm sure it did, but I don't know. I think he's fine. He's kind of accepted the fact that people, no matter what he does, people are always going to have something to say, or it doesn't matter how many titles he wins. So, and I think obviously for older guys, it's easier for them to take less money because they don't deserve a max contract. LeBron's still the best player in the world.
They don't deserve it playing time wise. They deserve it usually by years of service, though.
So yeah,
but that's why no one ever got mad at Kobe. Kobe was still making 23, and then like shooting 35% from the field. But no one ever said like no, I'm sure people did, but like no one could ever like not blame him for taking that money because he's Kobe Bryant, top 15, top 10 player of all time.
Mm-hmm. But to your point, yes, if LeBron took less money, the Cavs would be in a much better position to compete. But they're down to their last penny now.
Yeah. Now that max contract to fucking Tristan Kardashian is not looking too good. Now, and we're not going to say the J word, but how do you think LeBron does this year? We won't say the J word. We're not going to make that comparison. But do you think at 4 MVPs, 3 titles, $1 billion or all-star nods, do you think he's at a place, kind of what you said, where he's content to kind of just keep coasting, or do you think he wants to have maybe 1 or 2 last legitimate runs because he's going to go back to the final. I mean, the East is a joke until the Sixers get that shit going. But do you think he'll try to start up again?
I think he has at least one more full year of being the best player in the world, maybe two. I don't know. It's so hard to tell because he could just fall off a cliff at any point because obviously athleticism is such a huge part of his game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think he still has at least one more year to be the best player in the world. Listen, the championship thing isn't really necessarily up to him if the Warriors are going to win the next 3, 4, 5 titles if they really want to.
Not 5, not 6, not 7.
But I do think he would.
Sorry.
I think he should have a 5th MVP the year that Derrick Rose won it. People bring that up all the time. I really think he would like to win another MVP award. Because how many did Jordan win? 6 or 5?
I thought you only won like 3 or 4.
Sorry, I just broke the J rule, but but I think he could have won it last year, honestly. But everyone was so caught up with Russ's triple double, and for good reason. That LeBron wasn't even in the top 4 voting, but he should have 5, and I think he'll try to win a 5th.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm listening. I just need to get my charger.
Yeah, you're fine. The way that those athletes are, and by those athletes I mean the world-class, top-of-the-line athletes, I don't think mediocrity even is a blip on their radar. Everything has to be, I'm going to win, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. So whenever people bring up this argument of who's better, him or he who must not be named, I think it's a little harder than that to kind of compare, because then also, now that we live in an era of super teams, who's gonna shine out on a super team? No one usually. Can you pinpoint one person on the Cavs, one person on the Warriors that was like head and shoulders above anyone else? You might say Durant last year, but Durant was hurt. And then when Durant was hurt, Steph stepped up again. And then also you had Clay show up sporadically. But then you have the top or the number 1 and 2 for the MVP voting last year were people on teams that just sucked. You had one person that had to do everything, so he almost needed to average a triple-double a night just for them to win a couple games.
Yeah.
And then you had James Harden, who is a shooting guard, playing point guard, because he's a very good passer too. But, like, who else is on that team? Dwight Howard's gone. Sam Decker as a number 2. Patrick Beverly. I mean, I think it's going to be very, very tough for anyone on any sort of super team to win an MVP, just because you cannot match the stats of someone whose number 2 player on that team is a 7th man on any sort of decent team. It's like why LeBron won the MVP, I think, when Mo Williams was his number 2.
So you thinking what I'm thinking? Joel Embiid, MVP 2018?
Dude, if he can stay healthy, I would love that.
The biggest if in the world.
Literally, he's what, 7'2"?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that'll be interesting to watch. But just the way the game's played now, and I haven't played, I hate to say that, but the way that the game is set up, it's almost like everyone's playing NBA 2K or Madden or NHL 2K or FIFA. So much stuff goes into analytics of random little sabermetric-y type things that it almost becomes a kind of a crapshoot of who can we get for cheap that complements who we already have, rather than before where it's like, well, this person used to be good, let's sign them.
It's an arms race. Got to do whatever you can to keep up.
That's true. Well, we'll close on a topic that kind of touches home close to both myself and Alex. Alex a little bit more because this is where he lives currently. I was born very close to this place. Grew up close as well, but Alex has been living there for probably 20 of your 24 years because you spent your 4 at Syracuse. So I'll let you kind of take it away and give your take.
Yeah, not where I grew up, but basically my backyard. I think like 15 minutes away.
Bucks County still.
I don't need to retell the story. I just wanted to bring it up because first of all, it's weird. Shit like that doesn't happen around here, but and obviously for those who don't know what we're referring to, there were 4 like 20-year-old boys that were murdered and burned and buried and by some crazy kid who was trying to sell them weed.
Named Cosmo.
Yeah, Cosmo.
Fucking Cosmo. He's named after a magazine that tells tells chicks how to get off. Like, dude's fucked up.
Yeah, but I mean, what can you say other than your heart goes out to those families? I mean, that's horrible. If I was a friend of one of those kids, and reading all the details is just absolutely gut wrenching. I would want revenge. I'm glad that the death penalty is off the table because that's kind of the easy way out. I hope he rots in jail. He's going to rot in jail for like 80 years and hopefully get raped by a big black dick every single night he's in jail. But the main reason I wanted to bring this up is because I don't know if you saw, but there was some girl that he apparently tried to hit on Facebook, and she posted all the messages. Did you see this?
No, I did not.
So I want you to rate Cosmo, see how much game Cosmo has. It is so fun.
You must have mentioned that he is someone that has a widow's peak, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a hairline that kind of comes down in like a straight line, and like it ends up becoming like a triangle in the front. The asshole decided that he wants to have like a normal straight across hairline, so he shaved off part of it. And in all of the pictures of him, you can see like this little spot like right here of just shaved hair trying to grow back. That's some fucking weird pre-crime bullshit. It is insane. But where can I find these? I'm
gonna read them to you.
Then, all right.
Far be it for me to talk about hairlines, so I'm not even gonna go down that road. So these are the messages. It's some girl on Facebook that he apparently tried to hit up. So on December 24th, I guess of last year, he says, "Hey."
There we go. Getting your dick wet on the night before Jesus's birth.
Yeah. He says, "Hey," gets no response. Waits a few days, 3 days later. "Dinner date tonight?" And she responds, "I'm good. Nothing else." So he sent 3 more messages. No problem. Am I too ugly for you or something? You can be honest.
All right.
Gets no response to that. Waits a week.
Let's pause there. Let's pause there. Strong start. Hey. I mean, why wouldn't you want to respond to that?
It's not going to turn any head, but
it's mysterious. Kind of just the best pickup line one could ever go with. Hey. Then he goes off with dinner date tonight. Two things. One, dinner dates kind of suck. Just saying. You want to do something fun, I think, on a first date. So you do like dinner and something else, or something else then dinner. So not a huge fan of Mr. DiNardo's date of choice. Also, strong move to be like, hey, I said hey, no response. Let's actually like make my intentions known now. Yeah, let's do dinner date. That sounds perfect. And yeah, weird. So keep going.
And right out of the gate to go, am I too ugly for you or something? Like,
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Whenever you go, you try to do like the whole brutally honest bullshit, it's not going to go well.
no. Girls like confidence, not a guy who's saying, am I too ugly for you?
Am I pretty? Am I pretty?
So he sends those
Yep.
3. No response. Week later, need a ride? Question mark. I don't know where she would need a ride to.
Was he a mechanical goddamn bull?
I have no idea. And then no response to that. Same day, hey babe. And she responds finally to this one. I'm not yo babe.
Okay, let's pause here. Good fucking answer on her part. Odd choice on his part.
His response, haha, what's up, girl? Hello? What's good with it? And she responds, leave me alone, please. Something I'm sure you've heard before from a girl.
More so the whole, I'm filing the restraining order right now.
So he goes, why, babe? I'm pretty cute, and so are you. Like, we should chill and talk more.
Talk more as in she should respond to maybe like a fifth of her text or of the messages, not just like one every 20.
And of course, you can't compliment her for being cute without first mentioning that you're cute yourself.
Jesus, he's almost as narcissistic as we are for this.
And she responds
that's after him asking, what, am I not cute enough? Yeah. Am I ugly?
And then she responds, where's your girl at? And I guess she was referring to maybe there was a girl in his profile picture or something. He said, like my sister, LOL. In the room next door. Want to talk to her? I hate her. And this is all him, like 10 texts in a row with no response. Chat's good, baby G. Hit me up. I love you. I want to make babies ASAP.
Okay.
Let's have sex tonight. I'll meet you at your place whenever you want. Okay, seriously, let's not have sex, but we can spoon. Or just make out and cuddle. I like cuddling. Do you? Question mark. Or can we just talk and hold hands?
All right, let's really quick.
That's the end of the message string.
He's gone from let's have sex, I want to have babies with you, to fucking I want to hold your hand. He went from a fucking T-Pain song to the goddamn Beatles. I want to hold your hand. This kid is such a goddamn loser.
Oh, God.
And he said that he hates his sister. Like, how was that endearing at all? How will a girl be like, you know what? He hates his sister. I'm gonna fuck him.
And said, do you want to talk to her? No, she doesn't want to talk to your fucking sister.
Like me having a girlfriend be like, hey, you want to talk to my 17-year-old sister? Yeah, no.
But I gotta say, this is I haven't seen shooting like this since J.R. Smith, man. This man is coming up empty and does not give a fuck. He's gonna keep firing off every shot he can think of.
You know who else he's like? LaMelo Ball.
True. But I think, again, JR, I think he actually holds the record for most three-pointers attempted without a make. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's 18.
Yeah, it was like last year, 2 years ago, I think.
Imagine the self-confidence and cluelessness it takes to fire up 18 threes without making one.
Or 18 text messages in a row without getting one response back.
Crazy. So that's really all I wanted to talk about in that story. The world is depressing enough without getting into the details.
Yeah. All right. Well, kids, ladies, grandpas, aunts, uncles, everyone else, thank you for sticking with us for this first inaugural podcast version of Third String Commentators. I swear to God we'll get better. And keep getting those responses in, those text messages and email address, or those emails. Send them in. We'll answer your questions. Alex, final thoughts?
Sorry for rambling on to our 2 listeners out there. This was like an hour and a half. We should probably try and cut it down to an hour or less. Because let's face it, we're not that exciting. Let's face it.
And mine is a lot less cerebral than Alex's, and mine is I miss Wawa. So thanks, everyone.
Love you, Coast.
See ya.
See you next time.